so that others can dip in and see what we discuss, and we have a record of any significant moments, as they say. Look at Jack there. You're out and about, Jack. It's a jazzy background.
Yeah, I'm in Costa today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got up this morning. I thought I do not want to work from home today. I was like, I need to get out, get a coffee, and just feel like I've gone somewhere. So that's where I
Yeah,
am today. I forgot I blur the background on Teams, but not on this. So I
nice
was
to
like,
see
well,
the world out there.
yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes go to the supermarket for that reason. Just walk around, not particularly buying anything, just pottering around. Okay, let's start. I am also expecting one of our colleagues from the Cavell Centre to join us, Hannah. So fingers crossed. But whether Hannah comes or not, we will be discussing a proposal for an event at the Cavell Centre, and we can do that later. I would like to kick about any suggestions for future themes as well that we might want to offer as a network. And then we'll also go around the room, as it were, and that's where we'll start. So we'll go around. It's a chance to update one another on how things are for us, ourselves, and with our services and the work that we do, any particular issues or observations that it would be helpful to share. So, Robert, let's start with you. How are things?
Lovely, thank you very much, John. So as you were coming in, sort of a little personal update. So I'm moving on to a new role, so I won't be at the RCE Wellbeing Hub anymore. And so I'm still going to be in CPFT, but I'm moving over to work in our learning and development team. So I've managed to get a business support manager role there. So I've passed on sort of our involvement with this network. Thanks, Jack. So I'm sure I'll still see you around at different bits and pieces. I'll be more out and about around the county, more so in the new role. So, but yeah, so I've passed over sort of our involvement with this over to my colleague Abby, who's our deputy manager, and at some point they'll be replacing my peer tutor role as well. But I'm sure there might be other members of the team that will attend future meetings and give updates and bits and pieces. But yeah, so that's a personal one from me. In terms of the Wellbeing Hub, we have literally just launched our new winter timetable. So that's going to be beginning after the school half term. So starting in November. So we've got a few, obviously we have our normal rotation of courses and stuff on there. We have got a few new and special ones to mention though. So in the first week of the new term, we've got the new, oh God, get my words. The stress awareness day. So we're running a practical stress workshop on that day. So that's being offered out as a sort of a whole day special one to have a look at how we manage our stress as best as we can. We've also got a special version of our LGBTQ+ Matters course for Transgender Awareness Week. And another few that we've got coming up is our Mindful Winter. So we offered out a series of mindful sessions, so 45 minutes to an hour over the summer holidays, and we're going to be doing another 3 weeks of mindful winter sessions. So they're not like our normal courses. You don't have to sort of come and learn anything, but just come and join in and be led through some mindfulness activities with one of our tutors. And then a few new ones that we've got onto the timetable. So newly co-produced course was jointly co-produced alongside 3 different recovery colleges. So the Recovery College from Lincolnshire Trust and also Norfolk and Suffolk, as well as ourselves, put together a diagnosis now what course. So sort of looking at the value of diagnosis and sort of how people sort of manage those feelings and emotions that come up, and sort of what is useful to know about, you know, when you may have recently had a diagnosis, and how that might feel, or how that might change how we do things. So there's a new course out about that running this term, and we've also got our new Living Well with EUPD course following on from the Let's Talk About EUPD that's in this term. So yes, there's lots of different stuff going on, but I'll obviously send out the timetable and all the links and stuff through to you, John, and can distribute to people. But yeah, so that, as normal, we're open to anybody over the age of 18 across the whole of Cambridgeshire and Peterborough. We have got some of the sessions are happening face-to-face in Peterborough and Cambridge, but most of the sessions will be available online, so easily accessible for everybody from Fenland. I think that's about it, really. I can't hear you, John. No, still can't hear you. You're not showing as muted, but...
Hello?
Oh, there you go. There, you're back now.
Okay, so the headset's off. Okay, so, well, thank you, Robert, and wish you well in the next bit of your working life. And overall, the health of Recovery Wellbeing Hub and Recovery College is good.
Absolutely, yeah. No, doing well. We've actually had a really good first half term. So we've had we've almost doubled the amount of student enrolments we had at this time last year, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, and we're getting a lot of them signposted from other organisations and other teams within CPFT. So you know, so that sort of you know, people coming along and sort of experiencing the courses themselves, and then they can go and signpost them onto other bits and pieces is really working well. And we've recently just coming to the end of a project we've been doing with the ferry project in Wisbech as well. So, you know, you're doing a lot of that sort of working alongside others and getting that signposting, which seems to really be helping. So that, yeah, you know, it's been a very good first half term for us.
And which of the courses are the ones that tend to get very well subscribed?
I suppose our most popular ones this term seem to be our diagnosis-based ones. So we've had very well subscribed numbers for our like Let's Talk About ADHD, Let's Talk About ASD, Let's Talk About EUPD. Those sort of courses have had very high numbers. So everything else has sort of been, you know, good as well, but I'd say that they would be the standout ones in terms of the higher levels of subscription. And we know that some of those students will be coming directly from some of those other teams or organisations that support people with those various diagnoses and experiences. So I think that's really helping drive people towards those particular ones.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks for being here. We look forward to meeting Abby.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Thank you. Hello, Alan. Nice to meet you. How are things with Creative Fenland? And that's a nice background as well there.
Thank you.
Those pictures. Yeah.
Some chalk drawings. The joy of being around so many arty people. It's just littered everywhere. I've got drums and guitars behind me, and then I've got like freezers in front of me. Like hello, I'm Alan from Creative Fenland. I am totally new to Creative Fenland. I've only been in post for about a month. So you will have seen Jane most probably on these meetings. So yeah, Creative Fenland's all going okay. I've been away for a week and a half because of gastroenteritis, so there's something like this. So forgive me if there's some gaps. Yeah, so everything's going cool at Creative Fenland. We've just started our raft of new short courses that started last week, and so they are happening in March chapter, as we'll see March and Wisbeach. And so far as I'm aware, they are full, the courses, but I'll double check with Magda when she's back tomorrow. So if we've got any spaces left on those courses, we can inform the group if there's any spaces there. I'm just finding my feet with my role. I am the new creative volunteering officer, and I will be creating a training course for next year for those of our learners that want to learn more about working in the creative industries or cultural organisations, to basically learn how to be a volunteer and how to help out in the community. I'm not too sure how much you've been updated with regards to Creative Fenland from Jane, but we have received funding from the Know Your Neighbourhood Fund, which is about tackling loneliness, and in a kind of two-form way of tackling loneliness, creating volunteering opportunities, so people can connect with their communities, and also to like kind of help increase a sense of community connection and basically civic pride in your area as well. So I'm working with the team on that, and hopefully we'll be starting to run some events and the likes connected to that from November, but definitely into early spring. And look forward to meeting all of you at some point face to face. So
yeah. Nice to hear the twang, Alan.
What's that? The twang?
The northern twang.
Oh, there are many of us down here, aren't there, John?
Yeah. Have you been down this way quite some time?
Oh, I've been down here. Well, in the east, I've been here for about, where are we? 2003, 20 years, 20 years. So on and off, but yeah, I'm kind of still well connected to the north and stuff. So yeah, but
lovely. Good luck with everything, Alan. It's very exciting, and it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's going to be brilliant. I'm really looking forward to it. From the time I went to the Sun Network the other week, the event, what was it, 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago? Wow. And it was brilliant. And there's an energy which I'm really excited about. Yeah, it's going to be good, I think, and chiefly helping everyone in our community that we can, and ourselves as well. Like, us in all our positions. I think it's going to be good.
Thanks, Alan. Look forward to meeting you along the way. That's lovely. Maybe that would be a good place to bring you in, Anne, from Sun Network. Hi.
Hi everyone, it's really nice to see everyone. I haven't actually been able to make it for a little while, so it's nice to be here today. Definitely a long-standing member, been coming for many years. We are well at the Sun Network. We've had a couple of busy weeks. We, as Alan said, we hosted a wellbeing event at the Queen Mary just under 2 weeks ago. So that was lovely, actually, to see so many faces and organisations that we just haven't done for such a long time, kind of thing. Made me realise that actually we used to do a lot of things like that, and we don't, and we should. So that was lovely. We had some people talking about their lived experience, which was really powerful, and lots of food, which was really amazing as well. So yeah, a success. We also hosted a menopause event last week, and that was a real success as well. Everyone had great feedback from people just saying that sort of, you know, this sort of thing needs to happen more and more conversations around it. They found that the information shared was really helpful. You know, lots of people sort of feeling like, you know, it's good not to feel alone and those kind of things. So we might look at hosting some more of those going forward, as well as some more wellbeing events and stuff. What have we got coming up? That's a really good question. I'm not very prepared. I do apologise. We're at Sawtree on Friday. They've got a community engagement event, so we'll be dropping in there. And then I've got a lot planned up until Christmas. We run our involvement forum, so if you do know anyone that's interested in participating in that, then by all means get in touch. So that is sort of a group of people with lived experience to come together to sort of create projects that sort of can help to make a difference and sort of be involved, and also sort of feed into the involvement projects that are already running through the Sun Network and stuff. So if you do know anyone that might be interested in that, then by all means give us a shout. Let me just have another look at my calendar, and then that might help remind me. I do apologise. We're continuing to work with older people. I don't know how many of you know that, but we secured about a year ago the older adults mental health engagement. So my colleague Rachel works on that. So if you do have anyone that sort of is 65 plus that would like to be involved in projects or share their experience of trying to either get a support for themselves or a loved one, then we would love to hear from them. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of about it. We haven't got loads running up to Christmas, but Christmas will become, we always run our campaigns during Christmas as well. On our social medias and stuff. And Robert, I think, can you share me links or information about some of the more drop-in kind of things that you're hosting at the Recovery College? Because I'd be quite interested in popping along. That would be good. Perfect.
I was literally typing it all out as
oh,
you said.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if you'd read it or not.
No, absolutely. We are more than willing for people to just come and drop in. Like I've listed when we have got to find out more running, but outside of that, you know, we're more than happy just to meet with people or have people come along to the hub. Just send us an email, and we do a lot of it, sort of individual bits and pieces.
Okay, great. Lovely, thank you. So that's it for me, really. So a bit vague and a bit boring.
Thank you. Lovely to hear how well the Wellbeing Day went earlier in the month. Yeah, sounds good. Would you like to come in, Tony? Hi. How are you? How are things? You need to. What is that? You need to put your mic on, Tony. There you go.
Yeah, I thought I'd pop some stuff in the chat. So I've come up as T Saunders 1, am I? And yeah, it hasn't put my full name in. Yes, so I'm Tony Saunders. I'm occupational therapist with the Fenland Adult Locality Team. One of the services covering secondary mental health care here in Fenland. I guess mostly we're a consumer of services which people have already been mentioning, so we're always glad to hear about what's going on, because we're trying to signpost people to a whole variety of things to try and enhance their connections with other people, to look at vocational opportunities. Yeah, just anything that starts to turn people away from that retreat into their own home, which is so characteristic of people who are struggling. We're quite big consumers of the community farm in Wisbech at the moment, which has quite a lot going on. So we continue to get some really good experiences for clients at the Wisbech Community Farm. Our biggest dilemma here in secondary care is, although we're currently assessing people quite quickly, so within a few weeks of referral at the very latest, we do then have quite a lengthy waiting list for allocation of key worker. So that can extend to around the 18 or 19 week mark. Now, sadly, what that means is we don't really have a key worker then to start to dovetail people with all of the great things that people have already been describing. So unfortunately, we have a little bit of a bottleneck, and struggling to see how we bring that down really at the moment. One of the interesting developments about which people might be aware is there is proposals in locality teams that there will be a full-time post of duty worker. So instead of all of us key workers having to do a day a week duty works, which we have to keep clear for emergencies, there will now actually be a full-time duty worker post who takes on that role. So hopefully that's going to free key workers up a little bit to focus more on their caseloads. But currently that's the biggest development, I guess, here in Fenland.
Tony, I really respect and admire the hard and long graft you put in, you know, and it's always interesting and important to hear your perspective on things. So, you know, that's so important as part of the whole picture that is represented in microcosm here today. Two things really. One is I hope you could stay around for when we talk about having a FENMHAN fair and PMAN fair at the Cavell Centre to do some of what you've just said in theory, which is have a gathering point, a sort of a showcase for a presentation of what might be available for people if they could get a little taste of it, and to meet one another and so on. But the other thing is, I've got a question, which is, in theory, how long can somebody, and how long is somebody usually in your care before you discharge them, or you've got this pressure to move them on? Is that still something you're having to contend with?
It's quite difficult, I think, to describe a typical amount of time that somebody is with the service. I think one of the difficulties is when people are waiting 18 or 19 weeks for a service, they come with a very high level of expectation, you know, and, you know, sadly, we can't always provide the input to turn people's life around as much as they would actually like. I think the central thing which actually keeps people still with our team is if people can come to us and they can actually articulate something of the goals that they have, right. Whether that's in relation to something like I'm seeking, you know, I want to get back into work, or I want to be able to develop some hobbies and interests. If people can come along and they have goals that we recognise supports their mental health, then people can have quite lengthy, extended periods of involvement with us. I suppose what disconnects people from the team more quickly is when people come along and that they don't have any goals or anything specific that they can articulate around their mental health. Clearly, if somebody's acutely ill, we recognise that and we support them to the point that they're actually well enough that they can then start to think about those broader issues. But I think the key factor is actually people's willingness to engage with us. That's so it's not unusual for people to be with us 12 months plus, often longer if somebody has a severe and enduring mental illness. From our point of view, if people, as key workers, you've often got your head down dealing with quite a lot of people. So the more we hear about the variety of services that there are out there, it's so helpful, because sometimes we're not lifting our head up well enough to realise what's out there to support service users.
Thanks, Tony. That's very helpful reflection, and it's a very important part of the picture. Thanks, Tony. It's great to see you again.
Cheers, John.
And a little update in the chat there from Alan. Thanks, Alan. Over to Costa Coffee. Jack, what's your tipple?
Hello. I think most of you know me or have met me and have seen the How Are You Fenland website, which is, you know, just bringing everything local that's good for people's well-being and hopefully making it a little bit more accessible through kind of some of the content. We're continuing with our work, so kind of the Fenland website, there's 141 activities on there now. There's 183 different support services on there now, and it's just continued to grow. Really, I think I was saying to Alan at the event last time, I was chatting to him about things you could do with about 5 of me, really, because there's actually quite a lot going on in our communities at the minute. But getting around to everything and trying to engage everything is kind of the big challenge, really. And we kind of spoke about maybe a few different ideas about kind of, you know, the potential of, you know, using volunteers or you know, even I guess using the teams around us. I'm pretty sure everybody on this call probably does something out of work that they're involved in, or a fitness class that they go to, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I at the minute I'm out and about quite a lot. I'm trying a lot of different things, and I'm trying things that I maybe wouldn't usually try. So I've been to walking football recently, which yeah, wouldn't have been on my list. But you know, I think that's that face-to-face stuff and that face-to-face engagement for me, while it's time consuming, it's so fruitful, and it's really fruitful to have like little conversations with people over coffee and, you know, dispel some of the myths. So I was at a indoor mat bowls group the other day, and in the break we were talking over coffee, and people were like, oh, actually it's really nice to hear people doing something about mental health, because you hear like horror stories in the newspapers and the waiting lists are really long. And I was like, whoa. I was like, not for every service, you know, so it gives you a chance for opportunities to kind of dispel myths, or you know, give people information, and just listen to the challenges as well. Like Wisbech is a prime example. You can go to the Queen Mary Centre and you talk to people there, and they'll talk about, you know, not being able to get over to the Oasis Centre. They'll talk about like those real issues about transportation and actually what they want and what they'd like. And I think they're kind of really valuable conversations to be had. So yeah, we're continuing with that. We were doing a lot of work with the Integrated Neighbourhood Boards as a team. We're doing a lot of work within CPFT, kind of supporting the primary care mental health team because we sit under that umbrella of services now. What else have I been up to? Yeah, went to a meeting Friday, March Together, run by the libraries, and that brought together kind of 20 organisations to talk about what they've been doing sort of locally in March and have that little bit of a focus. So I think there'll be some more of those, which I'll probably forward some invites on to you because I think it'd be great to get some other people that weren't there around that table talking about what they're doing because you're doing some brilliant stuff. With the Integrated Neighbourhood Board, I was going to say that there's a mental health subgroup for Wisbech, and they're meeting again on Wednesday at 10:30 at North Brink Practice. So if there's any of you that want to contribute to that, you'd be more than welcome to attend. We're just kind of the point with that group of sort of looking at the priorities and looking at what's needed. So Tony, it might be some really useful insight from your team to give to Cara to feedback at that meeting about some of those challenges that you face as a team and actually what can the rest of that board do to support your service. So yeah, just to mention that. So some of the things that have come out of that so far, if people don't know, is they set up a walking football in Leverington. They'd set up a park run. We did a support leaflet with some of the local services on. They set up some lifestyle clinics for those with serious mental illness at some of the practices. And there's kind of, other bits and bobs going on. But like I said, we're at that point where we're just looking at what's next and what's needed. So looking at a bit of the statistics, look at what services are telling us, and then seeing actually what are the little things that we could all do to work together to sort those. In terms of kind of, the website, it's growing. I think last month we had 6 hours of videos watched on YouTube or from the website, which a lot of those videos are 20-30 seconds long. So it just goes to show a lot of those are kind of being utilized in the way that they would be. In terms of kind of the top 10 pages that I'm seeing in Fenland, food aid, which has got all the information about the local food banks and low cost food, that's in the top 10 every month still. The Fenland Baby Bank, that's in the top 10. Wisbech Farms in there. And interesting enough, Tony, the Fenland Adult Locality Team always appears to be in the top 10. So I'd be really interested to work with your team to get it a bit more representative, because I think we just got the bare bones off the CPFT website. So to get kind of some videos and maybe some introduction videos of staff and some videos walking into your venue, I've messaged Cara about that. So I don't know if she's mentioned it yet, but that'd just be great to get it representative so people see that if they've come to that page for whatever they're searching for, they get a real idea of what Hay's about. So yeah, that'd be. Yeah, and it'd be really interesting actually to find out why that keeps coming up in the top 10. I wonder what people are searching for in terms of mental health. That must be bringing that up like in a Google search. But yeah, you're always in there in the top 10.
What can I say?
And actually, to hear it's only an 18-week wait for me, I thought you was going to say years. You sometimes hear that in the news, don't you? That it's a 3-year wait for services. You can wait 18 weeks for the low intensity talking therapies after you've been assessed. So I think we all appreciate you're working as hard as you can with that.
I was going to say, Jack, one of the interesting things because sometimes you pick up things from service users that you think, crikey, I didn't know that. Clearly, a proportion of the people that we see have had adverse childhood experiences, sexual abuse. And I was speaking to one individual who's been on the Choices waiting list for individual counselling for 2 years. And she's just discovered it's now 4 years. So you sometimes when services, whether it's ours or whether it's Choices, struggle to get throughput, it gets systems get blocked, and yeah, we all rely on so much everything working together.
And I was just going to say for people that maybe haven't heard yet as well, so we're losing Healthy Fenland from December, and obviously they've been supporting sort of those grassroots community groups to get set up and to get funds, and yeah, you know, that they've kind of supported in, you know, set up of hundreds of groups across Fenland, you know, from things like that walking football. They helped kind of fund that, and you know, those really small grants just to get the groups off the ground and get them insurance and get those. So I'm kind of trying to work with Hunts Forum and Cambridge CVS so that at least we've got, you know, places to maybe signpost and support people where we've got groups of people that want to do something, but, you know, maybe haven't got the know-how of how to get started. So yeah, I'll kind of keep people updated with that really. And yeah, like I say, just out and about a lot. So this week I'm in Box and Brew in March tomorrow morning, which is a boxing session for the over 50s, and then Thursday, the day after, I'm going to kickboxing. Which again, they're not jack sports by any mean feat. So yeah, I'm pushing my kind of comfort zone out there. Which, you know, I meet a lot of people at events and things, and like people say like, oh, it's been really difficult for me to come out, and I'm like, do you know what? I get it. Every group I go to, I'm nervous, and you know, I do this for a job, so I don't think we can overestimate that challenge of just walking through the door for the first time, and you know, that's something that you know, we continue to sort of hear really. So yeah, I'm continuing to kind of keep doing what I'm doing. You can always follow us on Facebook and see what I've been up to over the last few weeks, and any likes, shares and interaction with posts is always appreciated to get things seen as well. So yeah, it's me.
Is that your own Facebook, Jack, or
You what? Sorry.
Is that your own Facebook page, or
It's a how are you Fenland one? Yeah. I'll pop the link in the chat.
I'd be interested in what I'd be interested in watching you do these things and learning from it.
But yeah, I'll put it in the chat, and then if people, like I say, people want to keep up to date, and you know, I'll share new pages on there. Or another really interesting thing that we shared recently was the Peterborough County Council and Cambridgeshire put on some online sessions for parents whose children might be struggling with the mental health. And you know, a lot of our posts, they usually get a few shares. Across Peterborough and Fenland, that post got 77 shares. So it's obviously really something on kind of people's mind at the minute is you know, kind of young people's mental health and the challenges and being able to support them through it. So I just thought that'd be kind of, yeah, just something for people to be of note of.
Thanks, Jack. I feel like I want to go for it now. I feel all, you know, my blood's pumping. I'm ready to give it a go, you know.
Well, John, if you want to join me on any videos, you're more than welcome. Or likewise, if you want to go to a group and talk about your experience afterwards with us, then yeah, we'd love to kind of share that as well.
Lovely to to life. It's wonderful. Thanks, Jack. Laura, hi, Laura.
Hi there. So I'm from Richmond Fellowship. We're a employment service in Cambridgeshire for people with mild to moderate mental ill health and/or ASD. And I am one of the two now ASD employment advisors. It's been so nice. But recently we have we managed to secure earlier in the year the employment advisors and talking therapies contract as part of the talking therapies team within CPFT and stuff. And that went live on the 1st of September, I think. And Jack, we probably need to, when we get some leaflets, be in touch with you guys to update our page. So for that service, we're doing it directly from people who are accessing talking therapy. And they will be getting 6 sessions with one of our employment advisors. we've also had a major recruitment drive for this. There's now over 25 staff, including management and an administrator. So that's it. We've grown from 5 at the start of year to almost 30, I think we're hoping to be by the end of the year. So all of our new team are starting to take on clients now, including those in the retain regain contract, which is where I sit with the ASD contract, and we support anyone, so we don't have to have that talking therapies connection, so people can self-refer, yourselves can refer in, and we're offering between 3 to 6 months of one-to-one support around employment, finding work, managing work situations. So for us, really, it's just been major recruitment over the last few months, lots of new starts, and trying to crack on with our wait list that was getting quite big. I can't really give you wait times on any of them because we do triage and we do prioritize based on a case by case. But it's also been nice to get out and about, again, with lots of events going on and places to go and do talks and things. So yeah, that's us.
Thank you, Laura. Great to see you. Peterborough Multi-Agency Network, do you just want to quickly tell us about their meetings? Is it once a quarter now, PMAN?
Yes, it is once a quarter. And I think I've got people to add on to the November one, because I think we've gone for November. I won't be able to give you the date. I want to say it's early to mid-November, possibly late, because I've got a week off in the middle. So it's one side of that. And we just meet and do essentially what we've done today, is we just get together quarterly and share an update. So we have quite a span. We have an open email list where everyone can access those emails. We don't BCC, so that we can all continue the conversations afterwards, but with a focus on Peterborough.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks for being here. Lovely to hear your news. Emma, hello. Want to say hello and a little bit about your role? Put your mic on. Oh, your mic's not working. Okay, Emma. Well, it's great that you're here. And from what you said earlier, I'll just get the chat up again. You're representing the Integrated Neighbourhood Team, so you're very welcome. Clearly, yes, Jack.
So I think Emma covers, and I'm sure she'll correct me if I'm wrong, but it's her patch covers the South Peterborough PCN, which I think spills into Fenland in terms of Whittlesea.
Right.
So I imagine that's one of the reasons Emma's maybe wanted to kind of pop on this and learn a bit about what we've been doing. But yeah, that's yeah. Oh, covering all of North today. Oh, excellent news.
Do you know if Emma's been around for some time, or is Emma new to her role?
I think Emma's been about for a while, working in the area, and they hosted a really great networking event at the Posh Ground recently, and that brought together lots of the local providers and services with kind of just a bit of an update on some of their priorities and a chance for kind of networking and getting in a room and talking to people, which I think is just essential for sort of good working relationships. But yeah, that was really useful for us. We were there and talked about our work and got a few contacts for some of the services that we've not got on there yet. So that's been good. So thanks for that, Emma.
That links with my question about having something of a similar nature, a FENMHAN Peterborough Mental Multi-Agency Network, PMAN, FENMHAN PMAN Fair at the Cavell Centre in Peterborough in the sports hall. So there's room for people to meet, to showcase the services that they're offering, but people who use, as Tony was describing, either professionally because they're caring for people who could well do with a connection to something out there, or the person themselves just dropping in to take a look and picking up the information and trying a few things out. But it could be an event which is celebratory. In other words, it's a really good thing that we're all doing this together, and this is the nature of what we do, and these are the benefits. And while you're there, you could try your walking football, you know, you could try your mindfulness, you could try your good food, and we baked it ourselves. There could be a range of things that people can get an experience of, and we can all put something into this because we would all get something out of it for our own services too. So it would have that sort of sense to it. But the other key thing, and from my point of view as a CPFT person who is keen for the Cavell Centre to be a more holistic experience for people. In other words, people coming into the Cavell Centre who are in a ward there and being cared for a little while, that's not the whole of their lives either, you know, and they're only with us for a little while, and we only maybe see them when they're in great distress, and then they get a little bit better or well enough to go back out into the community, and who knows what they're going back out to. If they don't know and we don't know, we're all in the dark. So an experience like this could offer people working with people in the Cavell Centre and connected to teams like Tony's team in the community could be a part of this event and learn from what's on offer and do something with that experience of that information. So my short question is, and this goes to Emma as well, because she's got connections with the integrated neighbourhoods and the integrated care board and all of those things. The question is, should we do this? When should we do this? And who would help me from this group, if anyone, to put something together? And who else might you suggest we reach out to help us to put something together? Over to you.
Obviously, John, you know, we've been working you on that, and we're really keen to kind of, I guess, shorten that jump from people leaving our care in hospital to in the community. So it's, for us, it's that two-way thing of bringing the community a bit closer and building some of those connections so as well, so the staff don't feel quite as isolated. You know, so they've got, even if it's just awareness that stuff's out there, I think you know, helps kind of knowing that somebody's going out to something. But as well for, you know, for maybe patients to meet some of the other services that they might access out and about in the community. I think again just takes the guessing and the questions out of it. So yeah, obviously we'll support in any way that we can, and I'd love to attend. I don't know when though. That is right. The question. I don't know if at this point, like, we're looking at maybe the new year, or you know, February maybe even. Give everybody a chance to kind of get back into the new year after Christmas. And yeah, because if we say by the end of the new year, it comes around so quick, and realistically, yeah, I think everybody's a bit swamped and tired by this point. So maybe just a few less things in the winter, and then, you know, coming into spring.
Yeah, and thank you, Jack. So, Jack, yes, that's brilliant. Thank you for the offer too. And Emma, I'm assuming you'd be happy to gather if a smaller group than this even was the first to meet to begin to plan it. Would you be open to joining us, Emma?
She's put something in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh,
including involving the care network, caring together. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, and the care network. That is next.
Yeah. Thanks, Emma. I'll be emailing you with an invitation to meet before the end of the year. Well, within the next few weeks, I should think, or maybe the next 4 weeks, just to be clear with 2 or 3 others about what it is we're going to do and what steps I need to take next to see that it happens. I'll be able to negotiate with people at the Cavell Centre because the good news is we now have, go on, Jeff.
I was just going to say, is it worth us just maybe having a separate working group for just that event?
Exactly.
And then we can work with you on maybe like who'd be useful to invite and help with some of those contacts.
Working group. That's the
word. And then people can, you know, chuck in their ideas and yeah, we can send that out, and then people can input maybe who can't commit to those meetings.
I will convene a working group, and I'll have Jack in mind, and Laura and Emma, and do come in.
Yes. So yeah, just include us. We'll come along and see what to the meetings and see how we can help and what we can do to support it all. So yeah, yes, please.
Wonderful. Tony, did you want to come in?
Yeah, I was thinking from our point of view, you might like to query whether Mark Lawrence, our other OT, would be interested.
Yeah.
You know, Mark's particularly interested in expanding that whole sort of meaningful activity, occupational side of things. So Mark might be interested. So it's Lawrence, LAWRANCE rather than E. So Mark Lawrence. We've also, of course, got Chelsea as a band 4 and Georgina and Claire as peer support workers. And quite often they have some capacity and scope to look a bit more over the parapet than the key workers. So I could ping you their full names as well.
So if you could email me a reminder, Tony, of those names, and I'll pick it up when I first put the news out and draw us together to meet. Yeah. Oh, that's very encouraging. Very encouraging.
Can I just double check, because I'm the new kid on the block?
Alan,
so the Cavell Centre is that
great
inpatients
question.
in Peterborough? Then is it?
Yeah, great question. It's a hospital in Peterborough in the Breton area.
Okay.
And it's for mental health care with a little bit of learning disabilities and mental health care together. Chiefly, that's it.
Yeah.
All ages, about up to 100 beds, I think, originally when it was built. Anyway.
Okay, cool. And are the patients or service users, you know, are they primarily from Peterborough, or are they spread across the Fenland district as well? Do you know?
I think they're spread from all over. I think it's yeah, it'd be a variety of different people from different areas. So, you know, I guess sometimes just that postcode lottery, isn't it? Of where there's a bed and which hospital you go into. So yeah, there's likely to be a mix. So yeah, although it's in Peterborough, it's not. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to Magda and Jane.
We'd love to have you involved, Alan.
Yeah,
to do something creative.
No, totally. I don't know if we'd come into the working group, but then we'll just come along.
Yes, of course.
Kind of
we'll
do
keep
some
you informed.
activities. So
yeah, and by having it at the Cavell, we are going to reach a lot of people whose lives are in Peterborough and Fenland.
Yeah.
And if you ever meet this group in Cambridge that was meeting right now, you'd find lots of people there. It's very rich. It's overflowing. I mean, of course they won't see it that way, but if you compare the Cambridge scene with the Peterborough and Fenland scene, it all starts to get thinned out. But you probably know that anyway, Alan, in terms of resourcing, initiatives and so on. Great things are happening. There's a lot happening, but you know, in some little way, this might just be able to bring a bit more of those connections that will make a difference to people whose lives are sort of part of that thinned out bit of the area, you know, the region. Yeah.
Cool.
Robert, did you want to come in?
Yeah, obviously I would offer my own help, but I'm going to be a bit busy, and I don't want to presume to offer the Wellbeing Hub's help with the working group, because I know that their capacity is going to be reduced for the next couple of months while they replace my role in the team. But I know they'd definitely be willing to come along, certainly, and attend and support in that way. Just some thoughts though. Obviously we've been quite active in the Cavell Centre for the past year or two. I just think people to sort of involve, very similar to what Tony was saying, is around, I was going to suggest around, we've worked very closely with the occupational therapy team there. So a really good person to be in contact with would be Rob Ellis, who sort of heads the OT team for the main 3 wards there. So be a really good one, because they're obviously and they've got a good team of peer support workers based there as well. One of them, James, is working at the hub as well, so that we've got a couple of try before you buy rotational peer support workers. So he's doing for the next few months, he's actually doing a split role between the hub and Cavell, because it's one thing we're looking at is how do we sort of help that transition with people, sort of, how do we get that connection stronger with support when they're in the wards, and then when they come back to the community, there's often that gap where, actually how can we sort of transition that a bit better. So there's a good team of peer support workers that are based at the Cavell as well, which would obviously be good to tie in with. Another one we've found been really, really handy. We work very closely with the activity coordinators on the wards. So the main one that supports us very well is Eddie, who I think has moved to the recovery ward now. He's very, very active, and he's very good at building into their timetable of things that are going on. So sort of bringing people out for the wellbeing walks and events and stuff that are going on. So really good contact there as well.
The good news is Hannah, who's not here today, but I was expecting, is the manager of the recovery ward. So and I know she'll be keen about having this event because she's already expressed an interest. So thank you for those suggestions, Robert. And I think it's all part of a pattern where we're all putting in, a lot of us who are here today and others, putting in quite a lot right now just to give the Cavell Centre a lift and bring in some sort of holism, really, where there's a lot of things breaking apart. Well, there has been, but that's changing. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. We've had our hour. It would only be fair to let you go, and I'm really grateful. I've been very encouraged by what we've shared, of course, and I look forward to meeting in a working group to plan that event. I'll share that news with everybody on the network post list, as it were, the email list, and I'll share the recording. And I'll also ask that if there are any themes that we'd like to focus on in the future months, do give me that feedback too. But if it's okay with you, I guess we ought to say a fond farewell at that point. Thank you, everybody. Have a really good day. God bless.
Thanks, John.
Bye,
Nice to see everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.